Evening, everybody. I'm just getting my other computer set up. I don't know whether any of you have experienced this where you try to log on and it says the host has got another meeting in progress. And if it happens, what I have to do is to use my other link. So rather than using the link in the recorded classes one, I use the link in the news, the old news one from when we first went into lockdown in August. So now we're up. A couple more people just joining in. Okay. There we go. Let's go. Up. Choong-Moo, Taekwondo. And raise your right hand. Recite the tenets. Shijok, courtesy, integrity, perseverance, self-control, indomitable spirit. And the student note. So, I shall observe the tenets of Taekwondo. I shall respect the instructor and seniors. I shall never misuse Taekwondo. I shall be a champion of freedom and justice. I shall build a more peaceful world. Bottle. Okay, just come forward for a moment. You by yourself tonight, Alice? Oh, it's Rose.
Alice
oh, Rose. You by yourself tonight, Rose? Okay. This lockdown still continues. And we are now 3 weeks past our expected grading date. So I spoke to Master, and I don't see any end in sight for this lockdown at the moment. So I spoke to my instructor, Master McPhail, today, because I know that he's done a grading over Zoom. And I thought I wanted to talk to him about how he did it and whether or not it's possible to do one myself. And so I've got his permission to do so, discuss with him about how to do it. And what sort of things we'll need to do over the next few weeks. So we'll probably do a grading maybe in about 4 weeks' time, something like that, to give us time to go through everything in our Zoom sessions. To be eligible for the grading, you'll need to be coming along twice a week between now and then, so be consistently coming to class. Those of you who are coming from other schools, I love seeing you guys, you're awesome. We can talk to your instructor about whether or not he'd like to put you forward as well, because there's no problem for me about grading you guys as well. Now, how it will work, as you know, we can do fundamental movements in our houses, that's no problem. And as we get better weather, we'll be able to do more outside, so you'll have more space too for those of you who've got a backyard that you can use. So we can do fundamental movements with no problem. We can do patterns with minor modifications about big steps, modify your step, then another big step, right? So that's possible as well. We can do step sparring alone with an imaginary partner. So that's something we can do as well. The challenges become free sparring and self-defense. So what we do with free sparring in particular is we'll do drills, and we might do stuff like our chair exercise. For those of you that have got a partner to work with, well, then you're easy. You can just work with your partner. But for those of us that haven't, we might do free sparring around the chair, so I can look at your footwork and look at your technique and stuff, and we'll do drills as well. The other thing that we'll be able to do is, hopefully in all cases, get somebody from your house to work with you on self-defense. So if you haven't got a training partner, maybe it might be a parent, or certainly somebody that's just your size or bigger. You won't be working with I don't expect you to be working with your little brother. He's a wee bit little. So, working with somebody of a reasonable stature. So we'll be working through that over the next few weeks and practicing that stuff through lockdown. We'll also go through a little bit of the theory of self-defense, and I'll test you a bit more on theory and stuff as well. So the only thing that means that we can't really test is breaking. So we'll be in a pretty solid state. So, and breaking, of course, is for blue belts and above. So we'll, hopefully we'll be out of lockdown before your next grading. And so you'll have the opportunity to show me how well you can smash stuff before your next grading. Although I don't know whether some of you, Mackay, might have a setup at home with breaking machines and stuff as well, by the looks of it. Of course, I won't be grading black stripes to black belt. This will just be for color belt gradings. Okay, so that's a bit of news for everybody. I'll be working towards doing a grading probably in about 4 weeks. And then worst case scenario, at the end of the year, we're still in lockdown, we can do our end of year grading over Zoom. If we come out of Zoom and come out of lockdown in the meantime, then we just do the grading on that date in the dojang as we normally would. Okay, that's it. Let's train. Rotate your wrists. Change direction. Elbows. Now in a couple of previous classes, oh, Alice and Rose are both there. Cool. Change direction. In a couple of previous classes, I've asked you to look at your syllabus book and identify some of the movements you don't know. One of the things we're going to do in this class, arms back, is go through your syllabus book and ask me some of the techniques you don't know, and I will demonstrate them for you and give you the opportunity to practice them. And arms forward. The other thing that I'll try and figure out how to do is how I can give you more individual feedback, whether we have like 10-minute Zoom sessions, one-on-one or two-on-one, and I can give you feedback on your own individual stuff. I'll see with that torso, whether I can figure out a way to do that. It's a bit easier for Master McPhail because Taekwondo is his day job, but me having a day job as well makes it a bit harder, and teaching every night as well. So I'm not quite sure how I'll fit that in. I'll try to continue to try my best to give you feedback during class. Left ankle. Change direction. Change foot.
So,
yes, Christian.
I was just thinking, can I use Mia as a sparring partner because she did do Taekwondo?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, she's a bit closer to your height. Free sparring, she won't have the skills, but for your step sparring, she'll be fine. Change direction, or your mum. Hands on knees, going down and back. She might not want to be your partner for self-defense, though. You might have to ask your mum or your dad. And circling outwards. Andro inwards. And hips. As many of you know, I'm going to go around and do a drive round tomorrow afternoon and deliver books and things into letterboxes. So keep your eye out and come and pick those up. Probably they'll be available sometime between sort of 2 and 4. Change direction. So make sure you keep your eye out for the delivery so you can get it nice and quickly and it doesn't get damaged. For those, some of you, I did have after my announcement, relax, turn totally up. I had a bit of a run on people wanting to buy books. So I have run out of a couple of titles. So I've ordered more, and some of you, I'll be delivering them next Friday at the same time rather than this Friday, assuming that they arrive in time. So most of you will get what you've ordered tomorrow. A couple of you will get them next week. Don't panic, and I'll let you know if yours isn't going to come until next week. So you're not waiting around looking for stuff in the afternoon and having nothing arrive. Okay, and it's not too late to order because there are a couple of books I've still got titles in. If you haven't got, those of you who are yellow belt and above, if you haven't got the syllabus handbook, you'll need one of those. And I recommend the self-defense book. for those of you who've been around for a while and don't have this beginner's book, that's also really worth getting too. It's got some very, very important information in it. Okay, from here, hands up while your brain just warming up, front kicks, left and right. Just gently. Come on, mate. You're looking a little bit inactive there. There we go. Okay, now put one hand out, just gently front rising kicks. And then the other one. Your toes back, your legs straight. Cool. Now, not just nice and gently and low, stamping up with your side piercing kicks. Lift your knee, lift your foot, and stamp out. So you get a good range of motion. Keep the knee up, keep the shoulders open. Give your legs a little shake. And now side rising kick, just put your hand out to the side. And the other leg. Come on, Tiffany. Stop looking at the screen and start working. And come on. Give your legs a shake. Grab a little drink of water. Okay. Where's my summary? There it is. Okay. For those of you who have your handbook handy, go and grab it. For those of you who don't, you can come and squint at the screen while I share this little summary.
So which handbook?
The self-defense, your syllabus handbook.
Okay.
That's what I want. Okay, so you can see if you're using my screen, I'll just move the window out of the way so you can see it. There are your compulsory movements by grade. So take a quick look through them. While you're there, Just go through them all physically in your space and make sure you can perform all of those stances. You know all of those stances. Make sure you know and can perform all of the blocks and all of the attacks, hands and feet. If there are any you are unsure about, take a mental note, and in a moment, I will stop sharing my screen. You can ask me and I'll demonstrate movements you may not know. Okay, so look down your grade. You might want to scan the ones below your grade as well and make sure you know all of the defensive hands, defensive feet, offensive hands, and offensive feet for your own grade and below. This might be a slightly outdated. I think there might be one change that's from this. But it should be okay. Okay, so if you've got any questions about those, just be prepared to unmute and ask them. Otherwise, what you're going to do in your space is practice your own fundamental movements. Do each one sort of 10 times each side and make sure you understand what you're trying to do and how the movement works. Picture the attack you're blocking, picture the tool you're attacking, make sure you understand how they all work. Okay, is everyone ready for me to stop sharing? If you've got your own book there, you can refer to that. Okay. Unmute and fire away.
Can you share that Excel sheet there?
You've got it in your handbook.
Oh.
It's all the information from your GUP handbook. It's just summarized for examiners to have it on a single page. Yes, Oliver.
Can I?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Outer forearm Weijing block. That is the one that I keep forgetting.
Someone trying to grab you around the throat, boom, blocking this way.
Yo.
So what are upward punch and front chicken kick?
Cool. Upward punch is this one from Huara.
Oh, okay. And front chicken kick?
Front chicken kick, somebody moving in towards you and you just stop it by sticking your foot out. So it comes up in a very slight arc and then you extend your foot out with your toes pointing to the ceiling.
So, and then side chicken kick's just the one that comes down and like stops slightly bent. Yep.
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah, stopping a side kick or a front kick or something like that. Just tracking it. That's it. Okay, other questions? If you don't have any questions, you can get up and start practicing.
Sir, can you explain the pick shape kick?
Absolutely. So the pick shape kick, the downward kick, pick shape kick's a variation of a downward kick. Downward kick comes across your body and then you drive down and smash on top of your target with your heel, or if you push your foot forward with the ball of your foot. This one, it's downward kick. Okay. A pick shape kick is a variation of a downward kick that goes straight up and straight down. And on the way up, it can be used to kind of get the opponent to take back. So the opponent comes in and you go, whoa, boom, here's my foot. And they just kind of freak out a little bit. And then you smack them with your heel on the way down. Okay. So downward kick comes across and down. Pick shape kick comes straight up and straight down.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. Other questions? Now we've got new blue belts here, new blue stripes.
So what is an X stance?
X stance, good question. This one.
Oh, thank you.
And so in New Gok, you're doing this. With an X stance, almost all of your weight is on one foot, and it's named for that foot. So this is my right leg. This would be a right X stance. My other foot comes behind it, so my feet cross at my shins, both of my feet point in the same direction. And you'll see, if I do it sideways, that the ball of my back foot lines up with the heel of my front foot. So from this position, I can very easily just bend down and touch the floor and stand back up. It's no problem at all. My back foot, my heel is slightly off the ground, and both of my legs are bent, so I'm sitting down. If you step into an X stance, your supporting foot comes in front. You don't do that really at color belt level. Usually at color belt level, you're jumping. When you jump into an X stance, that supporting foot comes behind. There are two reasons for jumping. One is to cover distance, which is what you're doing in Mule Dog. And when you do that, both of your feet point at 45 degrees to do a back fist side strike. If they both pointed straight ahead, my strike would be in the wrong position. But if I had them both pointing sideways here, I'd fall over because I couldn't stop my momentum. Okay, so they both go 45 degrees, 1, 2. And the timing of my strike is with the second foot, this one. The other reason for jumping is to avoid a low attack. So I jump up in the air. And when I jump up in the air, my feet can turn sideways because I don't have full momentum. This way in Taekwondo, for example. Okay. So that's X stance.
Thank you.
Welcome. Next question.
You said, how do you do a knife hand tie front strike?
Knife hand, that's movement 2 of Choong-Moo. This one.
Okay, thanks, sir.
You're welcome. A front strike means it's center line on your body. So you're full, with a front strike or a front punch or whatever, you're full facing and the target is in your center line. So a front punch, a front strike, all these things are center line. Unlike Won-Yo, this is an inward strike and it stops at chest line. Inward strikes stop at chest line. Any other questions? Come on, Masai, far away.
Huh?
Go, far away.
Okay.
Push it away.
Bending stance. What's that?
Bending, there are two types of bending stance, but the one that you do first is the one from Won-Yo, this one.
Oh, okay.
This is bending ready stance type A. There is also bending ready stance type B, which looks like this. And you can use it for front kicks and back kicks.
Okay, the one I need is A then.
So,
What?
if someone says do a bending stance, you have to know is it type A or type B that they want. Because you can't just do a bending stance. You can do bending ready stance type A or bending ready stance type B.
Okay. Also, what's a fixed stance? Fixed ready stance.
Fixed stance is movement 3 and movement 6 of Won-Yo. So an L stance, 70% of your weight on your back leg, technically 1.5 shoulder widths from toe to foot sole. Your fixed stance is the width of your foot longer because it's measured from the toe of the front foot to the back toe or reverse foot sole of the back foot. Okay, so it's that much longer. Your weight is also in the middle for a fixed stance. So movements 1 and 2, you're here in your L stance, and then movement 3, you shift out a foot width and your body weight comes to the middle. That's a fixed stance. Fixed ready stance is just like this with your hands out to the side. Just like this is an L ready stance, fixed ready stance. The other thing you want to know with a fixed stance, my stances are named for, firstly, for the foot that has the most weight on it. So if you've got the most weight on your right foot, it's a right stance. If you've got your most weight on the left, it's a left stance. If your body weight is equal, then it's for the foot that's in the front. So this is my right leg. This is a right walking stance. Okay. This is a right L stance. This is my right leg, but it's got 70% of my weight. If I do this though, I'm in a left fixed stance because my body weight's in the middle. So it's named for my front leg. Right L stance, left fixed stance.
All right. And one more. What's a close ready stance A?
Closed stance is where your feet are together. So unlike an attention stance where your toes are apart 45 degrees, with a closed stance, your feet are right together. And then, so from closed stance, you've got closed ready stance A, closed ready stance B, closed ready stance C, closed ready stance D. The one that you know so far is closed ready stance A.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Sir?
Yes, Liam.
What is the height for what's the height for the
Side front block.
Okay, a side front block is done at eye level with your blocking tool. Because now the purpose of the side front block is not an attack coming from the front, it's an attack coming around from the side, like a turning kick or a reverse knife hand strike. So you're blocking here to block something around your high section, block something into your head or something like that. Okay, it's unlike a side block, which is on an angle like this, where an attack coming towards you, I have to open my block out in order for it to miss me, because I'm blocking usually the inner forearm. If I were to block a punch like this, it wouldn't work. They'd punch me in the face. For a side front block, because it's coming around from the side, my hand's not like this because it might come over the top and hit me. It's almost straight up and down, eye level. And I get a nice big surface, but it's in line with my shoulder. This is a side front block. Okay? This other hand is just reaction force, because doing it like this would throw you off balance a bit. So we do it like this instead. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Miss O, next question. Okay, everyone keep practicing your fundamental movements. Find one you need to do, practice it 12 times, then do the next one. Yes, Miss
I
O.
have more questions. I'm sorry.
No, absolutely. That's what I'm here for. That's why I'm doing it.
Palm downward block. Is it that one where you bring it down? Yeah. Okay, that one. Okay, cool. And crescent kick.
Crescent kick is this one from your two-step. So someone punching and you're blocking your punch like this. For example, you block other things, like in side strikes, what you use it for in step sparring. So you're blocking with the bottom part of your foot, angling this way and coming over and down. It's called a crescent kick because your foot from the ground makes a crescent shape.
Okay. Fixed stance, observe, punch.
Obverse. Obverse is the opposite of reverse. So when you do any sort of technique, if you're using the same hand as the side of your stance, it's obverse. If you're using the opposite hand, it's reverse. So this is a walking stance obverse punch. This is a walking stance reverse punch. The reason it's listed separately in your grade is because this is an obverse punch in fixed stance, but it's a reverse punch or a side punch in L stance. L stance, reverse punch, because I'm in a right stance using my left hand. Fixed stance, left hand, it's an obverse punch.
A pick sharp kick. I've never heard of that before.
Pick shape is the one that I was just telling Mr. Arthur about before. Straight up, straight down. You've done it.
Okay, and then yeah, that's all. Oh,
Okay. Get practicing. All right, go on. Fire it. What is it?
sorry.
Did you have one more? Go.
Outer forearm Legion block.
Out of this one. You're doing your wedging block with your outer forearm. This one.
Oh, but isn't there one that's the same?
Hechomaki, wedging block, maybe.
Weijing block. Is Weijing block and sorry, they're the same.
I guess that is the same one. Okay, cool.
So I just want to check what palm pushing block is.
Movement one of Farang.
Okay.
Your target for palm pushing block is the shoulder or the buttocks.
All right. Thank you, sir.
No problem.
It's sturdy now. I can use it to go for them.
Tovia, Tiffany, you have a question?
So, what is palm pressing block?
Palm pressing block. So in Jung-gun, you do this movement. That's a palm pressing block. Normal speed, it's like this. But in your pattern, you do it slow motion. The hand that's going downward is the pressing block. In walking stance and low stance, it's always accompanied with a palm upward block. So this is my pressing block. It's an attack to my lower abdomen. I'm blocking this way. And the other one's also a block. So you're actually doing two blocks. Palm pressing block with a palm upward block. Cool.
And what is twin fist vertical punch?
One. Oh, that you do in Jung-gun.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Now, anyone, if you're going through doing a movement and you think, oh, I'm not quite sure how this works, come and ask. I'm going to give you a few more minutes to go through these. So if you've got any uncertainties, by the end of this, I want you to understand all of your fundamental movements for your grade. So make sure you know them.
So
Catcher with your rising block, make sure your forearm is over your head, not your hand like this, because it doesn't work. It's going to be your forearm you're blocking with. Other questions? Oh, Mr. R.
So one more question, just going from the very start of my syllabus, what's the difference between a front rising kick and a pick kick?
Good question. The simple answer is the front rising kick is the defense to block. Pick shape kick is an attack. So
Okay.
front rising kick, I'm using the ball of my foot, an attack's coming in and I block it with the ball of my foot. So my power is actually going upward this way. With a pick shape kick, the primary attack's on the way down with the heel. As I'm attacking, trying to crush the skull or the collarbone.
Okay, thank you, sir.
No problem. Everyone's working well now. If you got any questions, any uncertainties? Yes, Mr. B.
What is a rear foot stance and an angle punch?
A rear foot stance and an angle punch. Okay, 2 questions. Cool. Rear foot stance is what you do in movements 3 and 6 of Jung-Gun. So this one is a rear foot stance. So with a rear foot stance, if you think from your L stance here, your rear foot stance is shorter and your heel is slightly off the ground. Now, technically, from my parallel stance, I can make a rear foot stance just by pivoting this way and moving a tiny bit, because it's only 1 shoulder width from my front toe to my back reverse foot sword. It's a very narrow stance. Very short stance. The other difference is with my L stance, my toe and heel line up this way to give me 2.5 centimeters between my heels. When I make my rear foot stance, my front toe lines up with the middle of my back foot. Okay, do you see that? It's not over here, it's in here. It's also, instead of being turned 15 degrees, as it is with my L stance, it's slightly further at 25 degrees. So my back foot points sideways, I've got that little 15-degree turn. My front foot here, 25 degrees, both legs bent, most of your weight on your back leg, and your second leg, your heels off the ground. That's a rear foot stance. Okay? So you use it for this movement in Jung-Gun, the palm upward block. Now, your second question was about an angle punch. That's movement 30 of Jung-Gun that you do in slow motion, this one. So from here, your palms down, your punching hand's palm up, and your punching hand comes around at an angle, twists, and stops in line with your opposite badge. Here. So in Jung-Gun, you do this in slow motion.
Low stance?
Okay, normally to be done full speed. So it's a very close opponent. Your opponent's right here. Boom, and you smash them this way.
And one more, sir. Which one is a low stance?
Low stance is similar to a walking stance, but it's the length of your foot longer. So if I do my walking stance here with my toe on this line, a low stance, I put my heel on that line. Okay, and you do that in Jung-Gun doing your palm pressing block. The general used to always demonstrate it is if someone's doing a high punch, you kind of sneak underneath the high punch and do a flat figure thrust and stick them in the squishy bits. So it's just got a little bit more reach and it's a little bit lower. Good one to practice because it takes a bit of leg strength to get nice and long. It's a really long stance. Masai,
Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir.
you're welcome. Masai,
Question. Sorry, is the front rising kick and the the front rising kick. Where is it? And the pick shape kick the same?
yeah, good. We just had that from Mr. R, but you were focused on something else. Front rising kick's a block. So I can block like a punch or something this way. I'm using the ball of my foot. So my point of contact is here at the top. A pick shape kick is an attack. My primary tool is my heel. I'm smashing on the way down. Trying to smash the top of the skull or the clavicle. I also, on a pick shape kick, can use the ball of my foot to keep my opponent away. Okay, but the rising kick is a block coming upwards. The pick shape kick is an attack, attacking primarily on the way down with the heel.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Isabel's got a question, then Mr. West.
Oh no, so I'm fine. I've done all the movements and stuff. I was just going to say, if you want, think of it like a combination of downward kick and front rising kick.
Yeah, it's a nice way to think of it. Front rising kick on the way up, downward kick on the way down is a nice way to think of the pitch shake kick, although you're attacking both times. Isabel. Sorry, you're so patiently.
What's the crossing for the back fist side back strike?
Good question. Crosses underneath, just like a back fist side strike. So from here, it's this way. You'll find that it doesn't actually have as much rotation as a lot of our movements. The encyclopedia says quite clearly that a punch has the most rotation, usually about 180 degrees, and a strike has the least rotation of the attacking tool. So technically, for example, on a knife hand side strike, we go smashing watches together. Doesn't have to be tuned quite so far with a knife hand side strike. Your back for side back strike. So your striking hand is underneath, smashing 2 watches, and then back this way.
Thanks.
Good question. Okay. 30 seconds to finish up what you're doing. Now you should all be 100% confident with all your fundamental movements. Come and grab a mouthful of water. And then we'll have a blast through patterns.
Question. Sorry.
Yes, far away, ma'am.
Forearm guarding block.
It's this one.
Okay. Okay.
And the knife hand guarding block is from Duncan.
Sorry, I'm asking all the questions that I cannot remember now.
Absolutely. Do it. That's what I'm here for. You've got 2 syllabuses to learn as well. Okay, so we are now going to blast through from Chon-Ji all the way to Choong-Moo. In fact, we're going to do 10 patterns. We're going to start at Choong-Moo, start at your top pattern, and work down to Chon-Ji, and then we'll have time for Makai to do Choong-Moo again. Okay, so you get to do your highest pattern at least twice, and then work your way down. So everyone start with your own pattern. I want you to focus the first pattern you do. I want you to focus on your stances and the movement of your feet. So when you're stepping, making sure that you're getting that nice out curve line, naturally in and then out. Okay, when you're going backwards, making sure that you're using your back foot to spring your sine wave. This way. When you turn, make sure your foot comes in about half a stance and then out again. Don't bring it all the way together. Okay, so little things like that. Same thing when you do a backward step turn. Don't bring your feet together. From here, down, stays about half a stance apart. Rise up and then drop down again. Okay, ready? Your own pattern. We'll start with that. And I'm going to spotlight Makai first up. Okay, Jabik. Come on, Tiffany. Get some pattern practice in. She jump. Just take your time, Zach. Finish each movement before you go to the next one. So finish the stance, then do the next stance. That's it, rather than bouncing straight to it. Nice, Zach. Jess, it's a knife hand guarding block in L stance. L stance, knife hand guarding block, then upper elbow strike. Knife hand guarding block, just like movement 1 of doing good. Good, Makai, just watch that spot turn at the end. Once you finish your pattern, come back in your own time rather than waiting for me so that I know that everyone's finished. So in that spot turn at the end, Makai, and this will be the same through Dosan and through a lot of the movements with these spot turns, don't turn your foot before you put it on the ground. So from here, when I put my foot on the ground, it should still be facing about 45 degrees in the same direction. So rather than facing straight ahead, it's now 45 degrees this way. And then when my foot's on the ground, I pivot and turn. Okay, so you get a bit more hip rotation doing that rather than turning and having no hip left. So from here, 1 and 2. Lovely. Okay. So just go through your pattern once and then wait for me so I know that everyone's done. Okay. And butt off. You haven't already. Now, pattern number 2. One pattern down. Oh, Zach, look, you're front and center. Beat. Ready. One pattern down. Beat. Zach, you forgot to take your watch off. Don't want it flying off with your powerful punches. That'd be sad. Okay. Beat. And that's right, Zach. Oh, good man. Okay, ready? And she jump. Oh, don't step there, Zach. 1, 2, that's it. Now spot turn. Go forward there. Go back to that punch. Go back to the punch. Zach, come with me. Start again, Zach. We'll do it together. It's been a while since we've done this one, isn't it? Okay, from here. 1 and 2. You got those, no problem. And then step 3, 4. Now my left foot comes forward. Knife hand guarding block. Sit. Now my straight fingers at thrust. Release, pivot all the way around, back fist. And then your second back fist. Pivot around the front foot, block. And punch. Spot turn, block. And punch. Front foot, the right foot stays where it is, left foot comes in and steps out for wedging block. Middle front kick. Punch, punch. Fast motion. Other side, block. Left middle front kick. Left punch, right punch. Left hand, Choong-Moo, face moving your left foot. Move your left foot straight ahead. That's it. Now step forward, Choong-Moo. Next one, other side. That's it. And then from here, all the way around, knife hand side strike. Step together with the left foot and knife hand side strike. And then right foot comes to the left foot. Cool. That's why we got to do a little bit of work on. We haven't done patterns for a little while, so we'll do a few patterns to remember. And you get to do them a couple of times. Is that question?
Sorry, sir, because someone was calling me at the start of it.
Oh, right. Put you off. Oh, dear. Sorry.
No, it's not your fault.
Not a problem at all. Okay. Everyone ready? Okay, next one. Isabel. Pattern number 3. To beat. She jump. Remember that knee spring, Isabel? Going to work on a bit more spring in the knees for your sine wave. Relax and flow. Just like your dance, spring the knee, a little bit of flow and grace. Good. You're getting more explosive too, Isabel. That's good. Seeing more hip power, Isabel. That's really good to see. Liam, make sure you pull the other hand back to your hip when you punch. That's it. Nice, Isabel. Okay. Oh, next one. I'm going to have a look at Sam and Ollie. Where is Sam and Ollie? If I can find Sam and Ollie, you're going to be up. There we go. There we go. Sam and Ollie are up. Okay. Next pattern. Jabit. I can only see one of you. And she jump. When you finish, return in your own time. Sam, can you raise your hand for me? Okay. I'm just going to add my video to yours so I can demonstrate something for each of you. So Sam, the next thing that I want you to work on is a little bit more down motion in your sine wave. So you're going down, up, down. At the moment in your sine wave, you're going up first. So you're going up, down, but you haven't got that down motion first. And it makes you a bit stiff. So we want to use the front leg if we're going forward to bend downwards, down, up, boom, and then I can explode. Because in that down motion, I'm relaxed, all nice and relaxed. 1, 2, 3. Going backwards, it's my back leg that does that. Down, up, down. Nice and explosive. Okay, so work on a little bit more down spring on your way forward or backward. Ollie, with your kicks, watch the position of your foot. In fact, watch the position of both feet. So your front snap kick, for example, you lift the knee up and push your foot forward. Make sure you're pushing your foot forward and pulling your toe back for your front snap kick. This way, not this way, here. The higher you lift your knee, the higher you will kick. And in Dosan, it's a middle front snap kick. So you've got to get your knee up nice and high to kick your solar plexus height. Okay, with your side piercing kick, it's the foot that's on the floor that we need to work on. That's got to point away from your kick. So at the moment, you're leaving this foot here and trying to do your side kick, but it's hard to do because your hips don't work like that. From here, I've got to pivot this side kick, lift my knee and foot of my kicking leg nice and high. My supporting foot is pointing the opposite direction. And then, boom, I can explode out and get my body in a nice straight line. If I don't turn that supporting foot, my bum sticks out and my power's going the wrong way. So I want to explode out this way, turn that supporting foot. Okay? Okay, who's up next? Let's have a look at, Alice and Rose. You're up. Okay, next pattern, ready? Beat. She jump. Cool. Okay, I'm going to add myself to you again. Just relax, Alice and Rose, when you're finished. That's it. Now, you two have got nice relaxation. One thing that I want to add for both of you is that tension at the end of the movement. So you're flowing through it nicely. At the end of it, I want you to think of grounding yourself and being, boom, solid and I can't move. So an example, from here at the moment, you're going down, up, down nicely, but your finish isn't quite looking strong. What I want you to do just at that moment that you finish the movement is think about being nice and solid on the ground and tense all your muscles just for that moment of impact. And then relax again. And relax. So at the very end of the movement, you're tense and you're strong and your feet are really planted in the earth. So see if you can think of yourselves as being solid and planted, and then relax again and get back to that beautiful grace you've got now. Does that make sense? A little bit. It's going to be hard to think about, but just try and think about it for the next pattern. Think about ground, relax, ground, relax, explode. Okay. See how that goes. Okay. Next up, okay, Miss Kelsey. Next pattern, beat. She jump. Just make sure you're pulling right back to your hip with that other hand. That's it. Yep. And the other side. Oh, okay, nice. But a little challenge for you to think about is a bit more use of your hip, like we've done in a couple of our classes. From here, you're turning and your hips have already finished. So you're getting power from your arms, but you're not getting as much power from your body. So from here, I'm going, what I want you to think about is my crossing position, my body's on an angle here. So I haven't turned my hips fully yet. And then from here, I've got about another 10 centimeters of rotation. And that's where I get a lot of my power, that last 10 centimeters. So from here, 1, 2, half facing here, and then boom, finish position.
So kind of like from here, it is.
Yeah, yes. Do you feel that little jerk in your hips at the end?
Yeah.
That's it. And that leads your arms. Yeah, cool. Because these muscles are bigger. Your hips are the, some of the larger bones in your body. You've got the abdomen and the glutes. So they're slower muscles. So they start a little bit earlier. 1, hips move, and then arms catch up because the arms are small and fast. Lovely. Very nice. Okay. Oh, I don't think I've seen Nate and Jess yet. Where are Nate and Jess? There they are. Oh, okay. Next pattern. Beat. Ready. She jump. Shoulder height for that first movement, guys. Fingers at shoulder height here. That's it. And then this other leg kicked. And then that one solar plexus. You both kick with the wrong foot for movement 5. Start again. Start again, start again, start again. Okay, 1, go. Shoulder height. That's it. 2 with the front leg and block. Other side, go. Shoulder height, front leg kicks. Then block. Okay, knife hand guarding block, go towards me. And upper elbow strike. Move to walking stance with the front foot. That's it. L stance and front foot moves to walking stance. Good. Twin fist vertical punch. Smash. Twin fist upset punch. Smash. 2 hands. That's it. Spot turn. X fist rising block. Left foot's at the front. Good. Back fist. Imagine someone's grabbed that back fist. Smash out of it just like yellow belt releases and punch. That's it. Step foot to foot. Right foot out. Smash that release and punch. Step the right foot back to the left foot. Left foot goes out for double forearm block. Just like the end of your gok. That's it. Walking stance. Now change to an L stance and punch with that left hand. And side piercing kick. And double forearm block. Walking stance. Walking stance. Walking stance. Double forearm block. Now L stance. Punch with the right hand. Now left side kick. Now L stance. Forearm guarding block. Now your low stance, palm pressing block. Ready, and slow motion low stance. And forearm guarding block, go. And palm pressing block the other side, right foot forward. Now left hand down, Nate, left hand down, right hand up. Now your angle punch, going forward into your closed stance, go. Now forward, Nate. Jess is right. That's it. And now U-shaped block, step forward. And foot to foot, do the other side. And back, butt off. Shot. Okay, a couple of people just finishing off. Oh, must be Liam's turn in the spotlight. Oh, I know. I'm gonna put Liam up against Mr. West. Here's Mr. West. Okay, Mr. West is up. You guys should be on the same pattern. If you're not, something's not right. Okay.
So, what do we do after we get to Chon-Ji again?
I go back up to the top.
Okay, just this one is Chon-Ji, but yeah.
Okay, cool. Ready, red belts. Oh, I've got another red belt. Oh, I'm going to put all my red belts in competition.
Sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, in movement 12 for 1 year.
Yes.
Have the executing a middle thrust to D with the right strict fingertip. I was just wondering, is my body facing forward or a bit to the side?
Like full facing.
Full facing.
Straight
Okay.
fingertip thrust, you're full facing.
Okay.
It's the same in movement 6 of Dosan. You do the full facing movement before you release in Dosan. So finish the thrust straight ahead, then release and turn.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, ready, red belts, everybody up. This, I believe, it must be then the penultimate pattern, or have we got 2 left? I'll have a look at Makai in a moment. We might have 2 left to go after this. Shi jump. Yes, 2 more after this. Work on that hip power, Miss O. Explode those hips, delay them a bit, and let them explode into the movement. Yeah, that's it. Remember, your hips and your shoulders are independent. Nice. Okay. Well, a couple of people finishing off.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm sorry. When doing Dosan, I have to do a turning from.
Just go through the pattern until you get there.
From here. It
Yes,
is
then thrust movement 6. Yeah, so make sure you finish that thrust full facing before you release. Finish the thrust.
And then the turning, which
Underneath. Striking hand underneath.
striking
Both
hand
hands
underneath.
away from you. Yep, that's it. Yes, that's it.
All right. Okay, thank you. Sorry, I got
You're
confused.
welcome. No problem. Okay, next pattern. Ready. Red belts, you're up again because I want to see your hwarang. Beat. Shi jump. Go Hunter and Fletcher, good work. Longest stances there, Fletcher. And Hunter, actually, both of you longer stances. Make sure you straighten that back leg, Miss O. Nice, cool. Just waiting for a couple to finish. Lift your knee in those side kicks, Nate. Lift your knee and foot nice and high. Okay, and this time up front and center, I'm going to have a look at Franz and his dad, and I'm going to look at Hunter and Fletcher. Okay, ready. Makai, is this the last pattern or is there one more after this? What are you up to? Oh, you're on. Oh, no, it's okay. Just start and I'll tell everyone when you.
I've done all the patterns, sir.
So you're doing Choong-Moo again. Okay, so everyone this time, thank you, Makai. Everyone this time do your own pattern. Your own pattern. And I think I'll also need to put onto Spotlight the other R family because I haven't had you on Spotlight yet and we can't let you off the hook. Oh, and also Cohen. Oh, I've got to put Cohen on the Spotlight. I think that might be everyone. Oh, Tiffany and Toby. Haha. Now the pressure's on, guys. No slacking on this pattern because you are front and center. Oh, darn it. I just replaced someone instead of adding. Let's try that again. Excuse me for a moment while I get myself sorted. Okay, who am I missing now? The R family. Not that R family, the other R family. There we go. Okay, ready. Come on, Tiffany, get ready for this pattern. Make it awesome. Everybody doing your own pattern. I'm going to be watching everybody. Come on, Tiffany, get ready.
I can already see your head.
She jump. Come on, Toby. Looking good, Colin. Ben R, pivot that supporting foot in those side kicks. So you can really smash those side kicks out. Hunter, don't let the couch get in your way. Just adjust your position so you can show me a strong sitting stance. Not an L stance there, young man. It should be unsoggy. Both feet straight ahead, riding a fat horse. You look like you're doing an L stance. Both feet facing towards me. That knife hand side strike. Franz, make your stance longer. That's a little bitty stance. I want to see big stances. And I think everyone's good. Come on, bottle. Shot. And grab a drink. If you've got any questions, just unmute and ask them now. Okay, and let's stretch off. Feel free to unmute and ask while we're stretching, that's fine. Left leg out, right leg over the top, and twist the torso. So my goal tonight was another session where I could just make sure you are confident that you know all of your fundamental movements for your grade, so that you can demonstrate them when requested.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
Knife hand inward strike.
Movement 2 of Won-Yo, this one.
Which one?
Movement 2. So after
okay.
this one.
Thank you.
Now, Ollie, actually change legs. Ollie, when you were doing your knife hand inward strike in Won-Yo, you weren't really opening your striking hand out very much, so it wasn't getting a lot of power. It's a tricky one to get power in. You're opening your hands out and then pulling them together so you can get nice explosive power in that one. Okay, so it takes a little bit of practice. So after going through the fundamental movements, I just wanted to have a couple of sessions where we go through all the patterns, and then we'll get regular doing a few patterns rather than just doing one. Because I noticed that over the last kind of month or so when we've been doing lots of other stuff, people have kind of forgotten some of the movements in their patterns. So make sure you're doing your own repetition as well, so that you're confident that you can complete your pattern strongly. Now, as I said at the start of class, I'm looking to do a grading probably in about four weeks. I'll get a date and stuff in the calendar, get a week that I can do it, and we'll do a sequence of gradings through the week as we normally do. And this will be targeted at yellow belts and above who have completed the requirements. For those of you who are interested in doing that grading, make sure that you're attending at least 2 classes a week between now and then. And make sure that you're trying to get a little bit of feedback every class. I do my best to give you feedback, but it's quite hard in the Zoom environment. It's surprisingly hard. So if I haven't given you any feedback during the session, please, after class, ask for some, and I'll see whether I can give you some feedback. And if I can't, remind me at the start of the following class, please, sir, can you look at me for some feedback tonight? And I'll specifically make sure that I give you some feedback. And both feet out. One of the things we try to do as instructors is ensure that we give every student some feedback every night, so you can go away with something to work on. And I'm usually quite comfortable doing it in a face-to-face class, but it's actually quite a lot harder in Zoom. So forgive me if I fail to do so, and ask me for something specific. Hunter and Fletcher, for you guys, I want longer stances, no itty-bitty stances. When we're doing them in our little lounges, do a full-size stance, and then if you haven't got enough space for the next movement, move your body and then do the next movement. Okay, so you can always do strong, big stances. Cool. If you have got a backyard and you can set up in your backyard, then awesome, you do that. It's lovely training outside. Unfortunately, our backyard's a bit awful. Otherwise, I'd be outside. Heels in. The other thing I'd like you to do, if you are training alone, then talk to a family member, preferably someone a little bit bigger than you, about helping you with some of the partner work. And in particular, the one that we're going to work on with a family member is self-defense. So they don't need to have Taekwondo experience. They'll be able to do the attacks for self-defense. You just have to work carefully with them. And we'll start that next class. Okay, so try and get somebody arranged to partner you. I'm not so concerned about partners for free sparring and partners for step sparring. We can do that stuff alone if we have to. But self-defense, it's a little bit silly with our partner. So just try and arrange for somebody at home to come in for 10 minutes or something during class. And legs apart. Sitting up nice and tall. Reach up, down to one side. And stretch up nice and tall. Other side.
Sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Outer forearm. What is that part of the arm?
This part, the one on that. So if you hold your hands up, palms towards me, the part on the outside is your outer forearm, and the part on the inside is your inner forearm.
So outer forearm side block would be like
Movement one of Dosan.
Yeah. Okay.
Comment, when we talk about forearms, we often ignore the word outer and assume that it's an outer forearm unless we say an inner forearm. So we say this is an inner forearm middle block, but if we say a forearm low block, we expect an outer forearm low block. It's actually an outer forearm low block. And this is an outer forearm side block. But sometimes we say forearm side block and you assume that it's outer forearm.
And what about outer forearm and block? Inward block.
Outer forearm inward block is this one.
Okay. Sorry.
So no, that's a good thing for everybody. A lot of these movements actually make a lot of sense when you just think about what they are. So if you know the body parts, as you say, this is my outer forearm, and inward is towards the inside of my body, and outward is away from the middle of my body. So if I'm doing outer forearm inward block, I'm using my outer forearm and coming inward. If I'm doing an outer forearm outward block, I'm using my outer forearm and going outward. So a lot of it, if you kind of know those basic concepts, you go, oh, I know what that's doing. Now, technically, and down to the middle.
use the outer forearm inward block again? And which part of
It's used in the 3-step sparring.
3-step sparring or 2-step?
3-step. It's used at 3-step for green stripe. When someone does a knife hand side strike, you do a forearm inward block to block the knife hand side strike from memory. And it's also used in 2-step sparring. I'm not sure whether it's green belt or blue stripe that uses it. It might be the blue stripe that uses it.
Sorry, sir, my dinner's ready. So
Thank you, Zach.
sorry.
My
Bye.
goodness to you. I'll see you next week.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Bye-bye. And standing up. Sorry, we're running a bit late.
And sir, thank you. Richie family's off for dinner. Thank you.
Oh, very nice. Lovely to see you. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And change legs. And shot. So continuing from what you're asking about before, Miss O, we've got 2 Miss O's. I just clicked. I've been giving both of you feedback calling you Miss O, and we've got 1 Miss O red belt, 1 Miss O green belt. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Sorry. We make a lot of assumptions when we do when we name movements. So, for example, we usually just call this a walking stance forearm low block. It's actually a walking stance, obverse, outer forearm, outward low block. Okay, it's obverse because I'm doing a left stance with the left hand. It's going outward from the center of my body, so it's an outward block. It's the outer forearm, and it's a low block. But we usually just shorten that. Instead of calling it a walking stance, obverse, outer forearm, outward low block, we're just calling it a walking stance forearm low block. Okay, so a lot of that stuff is assumed. But all of those things count. It's outward, it's low, it's outer forearm, and it's an obverse stance. Okay, thanks, guys. Hope you got something out of tonight. I hope you're getting confident with all your fundamental movements, because we're going to get 1 step closer to grading in about 4 weeks. We'll do a little bit more self-defense and some free sparring drills and stuff next class, but we'll also maintain a little bit of patterns and things. So we'll get back more into a rhythm of doing a lot of things in class rather than focusing 30 minutes on one area. So be prepared. I'll look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great weekend, guys. Unless you're here on Saturday, in which case have an awesome weekend, and I'll see you on Saturday. Come to go. Hassan. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Lovely to see you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Sir,
Yes, Mr. West.
I was just wondering if you managed to see my email before